7 days on the Caledonian Canal, Part 2. And at the end of Part 1 you saw us entering the top lock of the Fort Augustus staircase locks, where there are 5 chambers, and it can take up to an hour to get through them when they're busy, because they like to pack as many boats as they can into the top chamber or the bottom chamber if they're going up, and you have of course to wait for all the other boats to get ready. But once it's done, the lock keepers take a line off you and put it round a hook which swivels like this, and then you step off the boat and take the rope, or the line I should say to be nautical, and then you pull the boat from one chamber to the next once the gates are open. And the lock keepers are very kind and help little old ladies to get off the boat, and little old men as well. So as the water goes down, you pay the line out, and when the gates eventually open, you pull the boat through into the next chamber. And I'm quite amused actually, because Mandy normally has a dog on the end of her line, and in this case it was taking the boat for a walk rather than the dogs, and they weren't very amused actually. They were barking like mad the whole way down. But finally you arrive at the bottom chamber, the last chamber, and then you're faced with the road bridge, which is a very busy road, the A82, which runs from Inverness through to Port William. But once you're through that, there's plenty of mooring spaces for you to stop at for the night, which is what we did. Or you can carry on through Loch Ness. Well, we had a short wait, and then the bridge opened and we were able to pass through and look for somewhere to be stopped for tonight. And they like you to get through as quickly as possible, because they, apart from emptying the boats that come down, they want to fill the lock again, ready for the next lot of boats to go up, and they don't want to keep the A82 closed for too long. Well, as you pass through the gap where the bridge was, you enter a narrow channel, and all the mooring places are on the left hand side, which is handy because the little shops are close by. There's a spa where you can get your normal provisions, plenty of restaurants, fish and chip shops, and pubs, so it's a good place to stop for the night. It's very popular with tourists. They say if you stood in Piccadilly Circus in London long enough, you could see the world go by. I think almost the same thing applies to Fort Augustus. And there's the little town of Fort Augustus up there. There's certainly plenty of visitors mooring here. And here comes another of the Nessie watching boats. Now tomorrow we'll be sailing out of that creek and down here, past this little headland here, and well, on to Loch Ness. Loch Ness is 23 miles long, or 37 kilometres, 755 feet deep, that's 230 metres deep at its deepest point. Best known for its monster, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. In the boat ahead of us, as we came through the top lock, with this couple from Germany, from Cologne, yes?
Yes,
or
right.
Cologne, and they very kindly agreed to let me ask them some questions. So, first of all, your names?
Birgit.
And Edgar.
Good evening, and welcome aboard. What's
you.
it? Braemar 2, yes.
Braemar 2.
Yeah.
Guten Abend.
Good enough. What actually made you want to come to Scotland?
I think there are several reasons. You have to help me. First of all, we like the United Kingdom. We spent some holidays in the south, in England. Then we like boating, sailing, but it's a little bit too far to go by own boat. The third thing is, I told you sometimes about Scotland because I spent some months in Scotland, in Edinburgh, almost 40 years ago. And so I wanted to show Scotland to my wife a little bit.
That's nice. And what made you decide to come on the Caledonian Canal?
That was your decision.
No, both of us decided to do so because we like being on the water. Being near the water, being on the water, going by boat. And we thought this would be a good idea to combine both things. See something of Scotland, see maybe something real Scotland, see a little bit of Edinburgh, and be on the boat. So we decided to go on the Caledonian Canal.
So a good combination.
Yes.
Oh, lovely. Okay. And are you enjoying it?
Yes,
Very
very
much.
much.
Very much.
And do you like the midges?
The midges?
The little flies that come and bite you all over.
Oh, we have something against it.
We have a spray to put on. And
Smidge. Smidge is good.
Okay. Yeah, we have several. We tried several, but it works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
So are you expecting to see the Loch Ness Monster?
Of course, yes. And we finally found it in the souvenir shops. Not one, but hundreds of small Nessies.
Okay. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday here.
Thank you
I
very
really
much.
do. So thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Well, the next day we set off up Loch Ness. We're going to stop somewhere along the way here. But in the meantime, we enjoy the scenery on what was turned out to be a rather nice day. We're finally in Urquhart Bay Harbour. And we don't have to pay because we're a hire boat. And the harbour was opened by the Royal Highness Prince and Princess Royal in 1996. And that was our leg for the day, about 20 miles. And that's where we came in. And we're tucked up in the corner there. I'll just go and make sure that that's all right to be there. And that boat there is the Nessie Hunter. There's the name. And there's another little boat. Also, apparently, to do with Nessie hunting. Well, there goes the Nessie Hunter with a big, powerful engine. And I wonder if she'll be any luckier than we were later that evening. Later that evening, after several gin and tonics, we actually caught sight of Nessie. There it is. Now do you believe it? I wouldn't if I were you. Well, having come across Loch Ness with white tops, we've berthed here and we're just upstream of the first set of locks that let you down to sea level at Inverness. And we're going to take a walk down. There's a retail place apparently down there, and we'll go and see if we can get some eggs and whatever else it was we needed. Well, unfortunately, the little shop that would have sold us what we needed would have closed down. So this was as far as we went, and it's about 10 miles from the very end of the canal, and down at the end of that stretch of water down there. We did come back after our trip and take a look at some of the boats down there. But the next day the wind blew up, and so we stayed here for 2 nights. Much calmer today than it was yesterday, but we still had a good splash just now over the windscreen. And we're coming up to Urquhart Bay. And at one point, the wake of a high-speed boat caught us. Oh, flat-bottom boats, how they behave. And there's Urquhart Castle in the distance there. Well worth a visit if you're in the area. Well, sure enough, half the rain started, but a little bit earlier than they said it was going to. But then it should brighten up again in about an hour. Well, it's nice to see a sailing boat with a sail up. He got a following wind, so he's only using his genoa, I suppose it's a genoa. Could just be a Yankee. We've now got about 7 miles to the mooring at the bottom end of the locks at Fort Augustus. And look at the rain in front of us. Oh dear. I shall have to slow down and hope that the rain passes across before we have to moor. That nasty bit of weather has passed over, and I've come back outside now. We've got about 4 miles to go into Fort Augustus. Well, we're getting really close now, but now there's another rain cloud coming across. That's not good news. Oh, we've landed in Fort Augustus and waiting for the locks now. On this boat in front of us, Lumina, has been up to Spitsbergen this year, 4,000 miles, and good luck to them. There we are, waiting for our turn, but it's 1 o'clock now, and I don't think the lock will open until about 2:30. Well, the Scots were certainly generous with their war memorials. There's a war memorial hall there. Very nice little building. While Mandy's looking out for the dogs and waiting for the lock keeper to come, I'm off to the spa for some essential provisions, and it used to be a Londis. I thought it was a Londis, but it's not. It's a spa now anyway. I've got the provisions: eggs, butter, milk, bread, red wine for tonight's dinner, and whiskey for a nightcap.
It's Thursday morning, the 30th of August, and
31st.
oh, the 21st. Oh, the 31st. Oh well, it's Thursday morning, the 31st of August, and we've left Fort Augustus behind us, and that's our view from the stern of our lovely vessel. And that box there is the stepping off box, or stepping on box for short people like me. It's quite heavy, but it's really useful. And that there looks like a bit of a raft, but I wouldn't like to use it as one. And there's Michael. Hello. At the helm. There we are.
The blinking steering wheel with no spokes.
Yeah, it's a steering wheel with no spokes. It's not a good idea. And our view ahead, lovely. And blue skies. We've got blue skies and sunshine. And below deck, we've got Tilly and Luna. And Luna's decided to have a nap. Again, there's a surprise. And there's Tilly wondering what's going on. And she'll settle in a minute. They've had 2 good walks this morning. And hopefully the weather's going to stay like this for the next few days now. That would be great.
This method of opening the sluices is the same as the ones on the other canal, Gothenburg Canal. And Mr. Thomas Dalton, he was involved with both of them, so I guess these are left over from his time. Well, I'm sitting out on deck at the moment while we wait for the lock keeper at the Caledonian Lock to have his lunch, and I'm just sitting here and enjoying a rather nice day. I just thought I'd mention, in that boat behind me there, the young couple on that, they're from Switzerland, We've met people from France, from Germany, from Holland, America, USA, and one or two English people as well. And everybody's been really, really nice, except one Englishman, and I'm going to put that story up on Facebook. So it's been a really, really nice time. Oh, by the way, loads of Oriental people, hundreds of them, especially around Fort Augustus, watching and waiting for people to fall in once they pull the boats through. Quite comical, really. But it's been a really, really enjoyable time, and we've got the rest of today and the whole of tomorrow, and then we're back to Gwendolyn. There we go. I shall carry on waiting. Let go. So finally the gates did open and we were able to go into the loch and continue our journey. Right, the bump.
Right, super!
Well done.
That'll do you, skipper. A little bit in reverse, a little bit in reverse. Keep it in reverse, keep it in reverse. Neutral, that's it.
Well, from that loch, or sluice as they say in Europe, we head down what is known as the Avenue and head towards Lagan Locks, and that will be our last set of locks for this trip. And it really has been good. And I should mention that the boat we hired is out of their budget range, so things are a little bit basic, and the boat is quite old, but it's still in good condition as far as running concerned. And their non-budget range, we've seen inside some of them, and they are really superb, luxurious. So I would like to thank the boat. I didn't think I'd ever use you, but I have, and I'm impressed. It's our penultimate night on the boat, and we're back in the place where we picked the boat up from, the boat's marina. Where we head tomorrow down the loch as far as the first set of sluices or locks, and then to come back, and that will be the end of our trip. And in the meantime, this is the view that we've got from the wheelhouse. Lovely, what a beautiful view. And I'm trying to upload part 5 of our time on the Outer Hebrides, and the sun's so bright I have to try and screen it with Mandy's fleece cover. You don't mind, do you?
No.
Oh, that's good. Okay, because otherwise I can't see the screen. Anyway, tomorrow is our last day, and then we've got one more night tomorrow night. Yeah, you can manage. And the next morning we set off from the marina down this comparatively narrow channel towards the first lock on the way down to Fort William, and then that was the end of our journey. And the next day checking out was very simple, very efficient, and I can only recommend anybody to hire a boat from the boat if you want to see a little bit of Scotland and combined waters, just like the German couple. So bye bye for this time. Bye, and thanks for watching.